Chapman.
And I'm back.
blowing again. From whoa, yeah, making a killing. Oh yeah. In respect, it's a check. Nothing less. Oh yeah.
Hello everyone and welcome to the eFootball Championship Open 2022 World Finals, one of the largest official esports competitions for eFootball and available for everyone to participate in. I am Harry Shannon, I will be your host for today's proceedings. It's one of the tournaments I look forward to the most in the eFootballing calendar, and it's time to crown our champions. I'm not alone, thankfully. There's a bit of a heat wave in the UK at the moment, so I've called in some backup. It's Wezza from the eFootball Pro fame. Wez, great to have you with me. We've been on the eFootball Pro all season. Now it's time to turn our attentions to the eFootball Championship Open.
Yeah, it only feels like yesterday that we had kind of finished up the eFootball Championship Pro Series. Now it comes to the eFootball Championship Open Series, which I always have a bit more intrigue in. I always like to kind of almost unearth some gems out of these types of competitions. As we saw, obviously, Nexus, kind of almost rise to superstardom for AS Monaco. It's going to be interesting to see who now comes out of the pack of almost everybody else. So that's always an intriguing one for me to take a look at.
Yeah, you mentioned Nexa there, one of the standout players in the eFootball Pro this season. No doubt we're going to be seeing some more diamonds in the rough featuring today. I mentioned there's a heat wave in the UK, but the World Championship finals are here today. So we're going to see some heated action as well. This is the final round of the tournament that began on the 27th of June, with round one hosting thousands of online players from all over the world playing on 4 separate platforms. You have PlayStation, Xbox, PC and Steam, and for the first time ever, mobile as well. All of those platforms divided into 3 regions: Europe and Africa, Asia, Oceania and other areas, and the Americas. So with all that being said, we just finished round 3, which was a single leg knockout format with 2 finalists from each platform and region qualifying today for the World Finals, making a total of 24 players. We can see them here. We're starting with PlayStation. Some names you might recognize, some you might not, but this is our PlayStation World Finals.
Yeah, to even get through to this stage, you talk about we've got 24 players across all of the platforms we've seen today. The amount of players that took part in the eFootball Championship Open, again, it's an achievement getting to here first and foremost. So, a big congratulations to all of those players who got here. And of course, now you have an extra step. You now have the ability to potentially be a world champion on your own platform.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see here the Xbox side of things too. Some more familiar names in there as well. But we're looking at all the names. In this type of competition, we often see the most unlikely party come through and surprise us, as we've seen in seasons previous. So there's your Xbox groups. Let's switch over now to PC and Steam and see some of our finalists, Wes. But we speak so much about diamonds in the rough. And we saw Nexa last season, as you mentioned at the top of the show, where any one of these players could find themselves in the eFootball Pro next season. Yeah,
and that's the beauty of it. It is almost the proverbial shop window. We talk about the transfer window being open in real football. The transfer window's open for the eFootball Championship Pro as well. So they, for all we know, there could be, esports managers who may be looking at these competitions going, hey, actually, we quite like the look of this guy or this gal. Let's take a look at it and see whether we can make something work. So all eyes will be on this today, as we can see some of the teams that have been selected. It's very Bayern Munich, very Barcelona, with the odd Monaco players thrown in as well. So interesting to see that those two teams are pretty favoured between Bayern Munich and Barcelona.
Yeah, absolutely. And not to mention, of course, first time ever we're seeing a mobile division as well. We can see here our world finalists. Congratulations to everyone involved. But of course, it's not just the World Championship title these players are playing for, Wes. By qualifying for the World Finals, they've already made themselves a little bit of money, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, we talked through the prize pool or the awards that are there. Of course, the prestige of being a world champion on your platform. It isn't just that. You also get awarded $13,000 if you are the champion of your platform. Second place, receives $3,000. Again, it's not small change to players who are participating, of course. And if you qualified into this final kind of group stage, players between 3rd and 6th have already won $1,000. So if you get through to this stage, you've already won yourself a bit of money. And again, you don't feel necessarily too bad if you do go out at this stage. But of course, the prestige is having that world champion moniker. You want to be able to kind of beat your chest and go, yeah, I'm the best on PlayStation, I'm the best on mobile, I'm the best on Xbox, and I'm the best on PC and Steam. So that's where the prestige comes in. Of course, monetary side of it, of course, is valuable to anybody.
Absolutely, a decent amount of money on the line. We saw there as well the brackets, so to speak, just for a moment. We're looking for the winners from both Group A and Group B to go up head-to-head in our World Finals. So let's not waste any more time, Wes. I think it's about time we see what our first platform has in store for us very shortly. It's going to be PlayStation up first. I'm looking forward to this one. So without further ado, here are the World Final participating players for the PlayStation platform. Let's take a look. So there we have our 6 qualified players. We can take a look as the group stages have already been played of how the results shook out. There were some familiar names in there, Wes, but not the results we were expecting here in the PlayStation eFootball Championship Open World Finals. A bit of a shock in there, isn't there?
Yeah, and we talk a lot about this. We talk a lot about esports. If they were played on paper, it'd be easy. You wouldn't need to commentate a game. You just go, yep, they're all done. It's fine. It's fine. Everybody plays everybody, and we already know the results. That's the difference maker within these types of games. You will have shocks. Obviously, the big shock here, Christopher for not making it out of Group A. Again, notable esports player that we're familiar to a lot of people at home in terms of representing himself nationally and in terms of in club level as well. We've seen that a lot from him in previous. But again, we always say this, these types of tournaments, they're for the unknown quantities to come in and say, hey, actually, we're here too. And as we see it from who has qualified through to the grand final, it's two names that you wouldn't necessarily have put in that bracket.
Yeah, you can see Foot for Seal from Group A, and as we see here, with 6 points out of a possible 6, Saif Hacker as well from Group B, participating in our World Finals here for the PlayStation platform. Usually one of the most contested platforms across the eFootball Championship Open World Finals. We have our 2 finalists. So after learning how the group stage went, Wes, let's jump straight in to one of the most awaited moments for the eFootball Championship Open. It's time for the final on the PlayStation platform. Well, we have our finalists. We have our final kicked off. It is Foot Facil in the Barcelona kit, using Barcelona, of course, and Saif Hacker 55, playing as Bayern München. Both players, of course, winning their groups in the stage previous, and it will be an early free kick to the man attacking left to right here, Wes.
Yeah, and again, as we always say in these types of games, you've got to get on top very early, especially with a one-game scenario rather than being best of 3.
Well, that's an early chance as well for Foot Facil. He said, as usually it's best of 3, there's just best of 1s in this format, so you've got to keep your concentration levels throughout the entirety of the final. And because we need a winner, we will see extra time and penalties if they are so required. But best of 1s, it's always important to keep your nerve, keep your concentration, and of course stay on top of your opponent. And early stages, Foot Facil seems to be the one pressing the pace here.
Yeah, you've just got to as much as it is trying to feel out an opponent, in this scenario with best of 1, you just need to get ahead and stay ahead. That's would be the message to either one of these players or any of the players competing today. Get a goal, get ahead and stay ahead. That's all you've got to do to seal yourself as a world champion on your platform.
As the ball goes out of play, I think it's only fair we introduce our players here in the PlayStation final. We have Foot Facil representing Barcelona, coming from Brazil. He's 21 years old. Was the winner of the IESF Americas in 2021. And in terms of professional eFootball players, his inspirations are his fellow countrymen Guifera and Henriquinho, hailing from Brazil, Foot Facil, so he'll be hoping to do them proud. And he's on the ball here as well in a promising position. But his adversary here, Saif Hacker, qualifying through the Asia, Oceania and other areas region. He's from Jordan, 23 years old. And he placed 6th in last year's eFootball Open as well. So here he is in the eFootball Championship Open World Finals. Trying to go one better than last year. Again, though, defending to do here as Ousmane Dembele threatens to break the lines, but just under 20 minutes gone, and our 2 world finalists are still all square here.
Yeah, and you talked about Foot Facil's, kind of players he would look up to. There's a lot of very, very high-level players coming out of South America. Brazil, first and foremost, as you mentioned, Guifera and Henriquinho, we've seen of fame within the eFootball Championship Pro tournaments, past and present. But to have that kind of almost sparring partnership that you might have with some of those players, it's a great way to get yourself prepared for a game like this.
Well, the Brazilian has started this World Finals on the front foot, but Saif Hacker from Jordan has defended well so far, it has to be said, settling into his first World Finals. And after placing 6th in this year's, or I should say this competition last year, He has a golden opportunity here to write his name into the history books. Lewandowski on that far side. First real attack of the game from Saif Al-Hacker. Half an hour gone. Lewandowski on that far side again can maybe whip one in. This will be a corner to the Bayern man. It'll be Sané on the in-swinger. Defended well at the near post. Now Memphis Depay maybe can bring this ball away for Foot Facile. Aubameyang on the run here. Maybe look to chop inside, but defended well once more by Saif Al-Hacker.
Yeah, you can see Foot Facile just trying to catch Saif Al-Hacker just on the break there. Again, we talked at length during the eFootball Championship Pro Series in terms of the pace that some of these players have. Of course, they are still working underneath the same metrics that we saw there. So 2,300 team strength, having to work with that system and figure out exactly where you want to put your pace. But of course, with Barcelona, with Aubameyang, with Dembele, with players like that at your disposal, that counter-attack will be quite fluid and be quite quick.
Of course, we were so eager to get these World Finals underway, Wes, that we neglected to mention that. As you said, same rules applying to the eFootball Championship Open World Finals as they were to the eFootball Championship Pro this season. Lewandowski, this time propping up on the near side. And this one, 5 minutes from half-time, will be a corner once more to Saif Al-Hacker. A pretty open first half. Edged to Goretzka. Gnabry inside! And it's the first goal of the World Finals! Serge Gnabry for Saif Al-Hacker has fired it home. The man who finished top of Group B on 6 points out of a possible 6 has struck first here in our World Finals.
Yeah, and it's an unconventional corner, if that makes sense. A lot of the time we see driven crosses into the box, and we see kind of near post headers. Instead, goes right to the edge of the box, catches them cold. Again, we see the dummy and the shot fakes just to open up, as we said, that shooting opportunity, that shooting lane. Ter Stegen doesn't get anywhere close to it. Gnabry pops it in the back of the net, and first blood goes to Bayern Munich, and the first time we'll see their game plan as well. As you can see, that kind of very narrow 4-3-3 that is almost stereotypical, I would say, when it comes to playing eFootball at the moment. You'll see it, as we can see now, a slight change to a more defensive nature. So maybe the case is trying to just get a goal and just stay ahead, which, whether that comes to pass and whether that is a good idea or not remains to be seen.
Yeah, the intent is clear, set up shop, and if you were watching, of course, you will notice that collective team strength has to stay under 2,300, so the rules being abided by, of course, by both our world finalists here on the PlayStation final. What does Foot Facile have in the tank? Half-time approaching, so can't afford to give the ball away too many times such as that. Here is Sabitzer. Skips past PK, no problem at all. Near side, going for the cross to Lewandowski. Back to Joshua Kimmich, who can strike from deep. It will be a corner to end the half here for Saif Al-Hacker, the Jordan representative from the Asia, Oceania and other areas region. He's finishing this first half very strongly indeed.
Yeah, he's trying to find that lane again, as you saw, just dummying, just trying to open the space. Ter Stegen was equal to it that time. But again, it's showing a bit of kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? A little bit of nuance and trying to find something different.
Schüller at the front post, almost beating everyone. It's still alive here for Saif Al-Hacker as well, but the ball is cleared to signal the end of the first half. It is Saif Al-Hacker 1, Foot Facile 0. So now we should probably turn the spotlight and our attentions, Wes, as we wait for the second half to get underway, to the man who's behind, Foot Facile. Finished Group A with 4 points. From the Americas region, as you said, Brazil's such a hotbed for eFootballing talent. What does he need to do here to get back into this game in the second half?
Well, I don't think he's done all that much wrong. I think realistically, looking at the goal, he caught cold. You're caught cold. You've prepared for a set piece that doesn't actually happen. Instead, Saif came with a bit of a plan B at a corner. So I think looking at what he needs to do next, I think it's just keep his composure. Yes, you've got 45 minutes. Yes, the clock is ticking, but you still have time. It's only a 1-goal deficit. We know how quickly these games can change with 1 goal. So let's just see whether he can keep his composure here.
Oh, Lewandowski forces a very improvised but very astute save out of ter Stegen. Starting the second half off very fast indeed. Piqué even got something on that attempted pass, but Lewandowski was alert, and it will be another corner. Bookending the interval, it swung in but cleared away, this time at the near post. I'm still happy to venture forward was Saif, but that one has rolled out of play. We thought maybe when we were looking at his formation change that we would see maybe a bit more of a game controlling style, but there's some mistakes on both sides here, Wes.
Yeah, I think the nerves are starting to tell a little bit here because, again, like we said, you're in a best of 1 scenario, and for those at home who have watched eFootball or played even eFootball to a degree, you'll know that a 1-goal lead is incredibly delicate. As it normally is in real football, it's the exact same electronically. It's really delicate, and to steal a cliche that we always hear, the next goal is absolutely vital here. Again, if it goes the way of Bayern Munich and Saif, it basically means 2-0, potentially could lock the game off. If it goes to foot for seal, however, it then changes the dynamic of the game once more. So this next goal is vital.
Well, apart from the opening 15 or so in-game minutes, we haven't seen too much of note out of foot for seal, so he's going to have to get his wits about him here because time is slowly ticking against him. In possession now, though, with Pedri. All the way back to Piqué, but the press is coming from Bayern. And Saif needs to be careful because there's a deep run here from Piqué, who can control the ball and try and feed Aubameyang. Piqué's still in there. Controlled the situation well, did Saif, and Bayern again looking to break on that far side. Serge Gnabry on the inside, but Piqué, almost acting as a striker moments previous, is now back on defensive duties. Aubameyang. This is end-to-end stuff here. Ansu Fati. Who can he find here? Double touch inside, goes for goal himself. Still in his possession here. He's been brought down in the box. It's ricocheting around, and the referee has brought it back here. I think it'll be a bit of a let-off here for Saif, as it will be a free kick inside his own box. A frantic 10 in-game minutes there, Wes.
Yeah, I think that's the game plan now. Cause a little bit of chaos, as you pointed out. An auxiliary striker in Gerard Piqué. Again, it's an extra body in the box that's not being accounted for by this Bayern Munich defence. So, again, it's now a case of can you find the space?
Well, the space threatening to open up in behind. 70th minute we've just ticked over into, so this is around the time of the game we expect substitutes, we expect changes. The question for foot for seal is, will they be impactful ones? The ball needs to go out of play first. Sane on this near side, thought about galloping forward, but this is the mature thing to do. Keep the ball as long as you've got possession. But Fasil's going to find it very difficult. So the ball trickles out of play. No doubt a pause queued up here, and there it is. So time for changes here, Wes. I always put you on the spot in these types of scenarios, but what needs to change here for Fasil? He's down 1-0. He's only got 20 in-game minutes to go. Do you just throw the kitchen sink?
Well, here's the quandary. Here's the riddle, as it were. When do you commit bodies? Because as we've seen time and again, you can commit bodies too early, and then you're left too short at the back. A team will counter you, and it's an easy goal. But if you can time it right, especially with the substitutes, we've just seen Adama Traore come on, who is not a slow player by any stretch, folks. If you've seen Adama Traore play football, he is as quick as anything. So you can see that there might just be an outlet there to get the pace and get that forward. And again, it's just about finding passes and executing.
Oh, well, there's one threatening in behind is Ansu Fati. As you said, look out for Adama Traore. Going to be playing over on that far side, the right-hand side for Fasil. But if it's going to happen for him, it has to happen in the next 10 in-game minutes. And mistakes like that can't keep creeping in. Here is Traore. Just seems a little void of ideas at this moment in time. Saif Al-Hacker is 10 in-game minutes away from being our World Finals champion. And he has possession here as well. Sergio Busquets now into the final 5. Just can't seem to beat the first man with any of these passes, and once more it's Saif in possession. Lewandowski, his touch is heavy. Into the feet of Pedri now. Traore, he's got plenty of pace to burn on that far side. End product just lacking, and well, I wonder if that's going to be the last attack of the game here for Foot Fasil.
There will be 1 minute.
If Saif plays his cards right, this could well and truly be his name being carved onto the trophy, unless Foot Fasil comes forward. Aubameyang, Fati, back to Aubameyang! With what would have been the last kick! Foot Fasil has equalised. And I think, Wes, well, I can say with a certainty now, we're headed to extra time.
I'm nodding my head appreciatively in this virtual commentary box. What a time to pull that out. Again, it's just the pass and move. And again, there's no other chance here. There's no other opportunity. If that ball goes dead, it's game over. And instead, Aubameyang finds his way into the box. Fantastic finish. And now we're going to extra time.
As soon as this kickoff happens, I think the referee's going to signal the end of regulation. We are all tied up. A 92nd minute equaliser from Foot Fasil keeps his World Finals hopes alive. We're headed to extra time. If we're still level after the extra in-game half an hour, we'll be headed to a penalty shootout, Wes, and we know the drama that happens in those.
At that point, it does become a literal lottery. It really does. But we've still got to get there first. We've got an extra 30 minutes. Again, we've seen it even in the pro leagues in terms of how violently the game can change in extra time here. So it's one to keep your eye on. There's fresh legs on from both teams. It's just a case of who can utilise that now, potentially get themselves a proverbial golden goal that could be worth its weight in gold.
So we're underway then, the extra time between Foot Fasil and Saif Al-Hacker. 30 added in-game minutes to try and separate our two finalists. Our two young finalists, by the way. Saif Al-Hacker, just 23 years old, and Foot Fasil, 21. So a bright future ahead for both of these, but of course the future is now as they find themselves in the eFootball Championship Open World Finals for PlayStation. We still have the Xbox Finals, the PC and Steam Finals, and of course the mobile finals still to come. First we have to separate these two, Wes, and well, that's a mistake here from Foot Fasil. Tolisso is in. Is there a square on? Lewandowski is giving chase and Tolisso is just robbed. just robbed at the vital moments. Still coming forward here is Saif, but that one is misjudged, mistimed and miscommunicated, and that was a golden chance, wasn't it? And I tell you what, Foot Fasil is playing with fire here as well.
Very much so. But again, very, very cool in his approach, which in the sense of he's confident enough to take the ball under control, even in such a late stage of the game. And you know, we talk about these fine margins. How vital is that chance going to be there? You know, we also could then think back into regulation time. You know, the over-the-top through ball that landed to Lewandowski and he just slipped at the wrong moment. How important are these chances going to be in, you know, once we get to the end of this game? Because again, you might look back on them if you're safe and you might think, I could have done more. Yeah, at these stages you have to leave everything out there. You have to leave everything out on the virtual pitch.
Well, the second period of added time, extra time I should say, is underway. The sides have swapped, but no immediate personnel changes that I can see. And you've got to be thinking about penalties at this point. You've got to think about your takers, but first and foremost, you've got to make sure defensively you're sound to even get to that point. It was Goretzka that time on defensive duty covering.
Sometimes you'll notice that the Bayern Munich players will kind of go back in swarm almost. It really does depend on what tactic you're playing to see what your players will do. Goretzka, though, certainly more defensive minded. You've got Joshua Kimmich that I'm seeing very defensive minded, and you can see they're just taking up positions at the moment. I think looking at the way that this game's going, it looks like it could be Bayern's to win here.
Could well, but Longley has robbed them of possession here. Depay in the centre circle. It's just very scrappy in there at the moment. Kimmich is trying to beat his man as Pedri for company. The 120th minute is fast approaching, so if there is going to be a winner, it has to come from this attack here. Traore looking to try and steal in behind, but I think the referee might just allow this to go on for one last attack. Is there a winner here for Saif? Lewandowski cannot get there in time, and we are headed to spot kicks. 120 in-game minutes could not separate our two world finalists. And it's time for pens versus Foot Fasil and Saif Al-Hakka. It'll be Foot Fasil up first. Aubameyang versus Neuer. Saved. That is a great way to start a penalty shootout if you're Saif Al-Hakka. Can he make it count though? It's Coleman. It's also saved.
Yeah, you'll notice with these goalkeepers on the lines, you'll notice they'll try and go more to one side to almost bait your opponent to go on, put it in the other side and we'll dive across and save it. You keep seeing it here as it's just gamesmanship really at this point.
So it's as you were. It's Memphis Depay versus Neuer. This time tucked away emphatically. So the pressure pendulum swings back towards Saif. There's a lot of power on it as Lewandowski steps up. And it's saved. It's a lot of power, but not enough elevation. Foot Fasil guesses right and gives himself the advantage here in the shootout. Fatty now for Foot Fasil. Saved by Saif. Only one penalty out of 5 scored so far. And of course, because we're watching the game from Saif's point of view, we'll see his marker, Sane, stepping up. And there's enough power to creep it in.
Yeah, and a point on the target that you keep seeing on your screen. Depending on how much power is dependent on how big that circle goes. With the penalties within eFootball, the ball can go anywhere within that circle, so it's not a guarantee it's going to go exactly where you want it. So if you go full power, there is a bit of risk and reward.
Traore now stepping up. Another save. Saif is on fire right now in goal. His turn to take a kick with Tolisso to give him the lead going into the 5th penalty. It's also saved.
It's like we said, it's not enough to just put power on it. You're going to have to do a bit more, especially when these goalkeepers are moving around so much.
8 penalties, only 2 scored. Pedri now tucks it home, which puts all the pressure onto Saif Al-Hakka, the man from Jordan. He has to score this. The biggest penalty of his career so far. It'll be Leon Goretzka versus Ter Stegen. And it's saved. Foot Fasil has done it. It took penalty shootouts to separate the two, but our champion from Brazil is Foot Fasil. Oh, Wes. What a game that was to kick us off in the World Finals. Foot Fasil on pens. Only 2-1 it was, but an incredible shootout.
Yeah, it was an incredible shootout, and again, a full credit to Foot Fasil for not only getting himself back into the game with the final kick of regulation, but then to have the steel and the determination and the skill to pull it off in a penalty shootout. As you saw, really well worked goal from Saif to start us off on the proceedings. It was a corner that I don't think anybody was expecting at that point. Again, for it to go out wide and work the space back in, you can see there, just gets the lane, manages to pop it in, and it was kind of, obviously Saif is going to be disappointed here, but there was a little bit of naivety that crept in the sense of, when it's 85th, 86th, 87th minute, grab the ball and head for the hills. Don't worry about trying to get an extra goal. Instead, opens himself up, and Foot Fasil, finding a golden opportunity, gets himself in and takes us into extra time.
I mean, to be 1-0 down going into the 90th minute, to still continue the attack and get your equaliser, to even get to the penalties is incredible. I want to hear from the man himself. It's going to be our colleague David with our champion.
Foot Fasil 10, congratulations on winning the eFootball Championship Open 2022 on the PlayStation platform. I'm sure you are very emotional right now, but what are your thoughts and your feelings right now?
Estou muito feliz pela conquista. Foi algo chocante. Não esperava que fosse desse jeito e estou muito feliz.
Well, thank you very much for your response. He has said that he is very happy. It's a unique feeling for him. He's shocked at how well it went for him during the entire competition. Well, now that you are an eFootball Championship Open winner, how are you going to celebrate it, and what are your plans and your goals for the future?
Eu vou comemorar bastante hoje e vou para um churrasco, é aniversário da minha avó também hoje. Vou aproveitar para comemorar o título e o aniversário da minha avó. E segunda-feira na semana aí voltar a treinar para as novas competições.
Well, thank you very much for your response. He has said that he is going to enjoy a lot today at the barbecue party, but next week he will be focused again in the next tournament. Well, thank you very much, Foot Fasil 10. Congratulations on winning the eFootball Championship Open 2022 on the PlayStation platform. You deserve it, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you. Back to you guys.
Yes, thank you so much, David. It's so good to hear from Foot Fasil celebrating with a barbecue. Hope he saves me some. But we've had our first champion. I think it's about time we move on to our next platform and find out our champion for the Xbox platform. So let's find out our participants. So there we have, Wes, our participants. You can see here how the groups have played out. They've already been played between our 6 qualified players and some familiar names to us in there. And you can see they're continuing their previous tournament experience here in the eFootball Championship Open World Finals.
Yeah, the one that sticks out like a big sore thumb, Naples 17, you may remember from UEFA Euro glory with Italy. I believe he scored the final goal that we saw, which was to double touch through about 3 different players, which was an unreal goal. So if he can bring that type of skill to the party, that would be awesome today. Of course, on the other side though, Ivan Melian, again, has got maximum points. So this should be a very, very competitive game.
It should, because, as you said, I mean, both players getting 6 points out of a possible 6 here in the Xbox final. So after learning how the group stage has gone, let's waste no more time. Let's jump straight into the World Finals on the Xbox platform. So 1 champion down, 3 more to find. Here is World Finals number 2, this time on the Xbox platform. We have Naples 17 from Italy, and you have Ivan Melian from Argentina here. Both players representing Bayern München as their chosen sides, and it'll be Naples in the home strip. It'll be Ivan Melian attacking here with the all-changed white strip. Kingsley Coman looking to start things off, and I think that's an early penalty here. Still doing the player introductions. And Ivan Melian has a penalty in the opening 5 minutes. Lewandowski stepping up.
Oh.
As cool as you like. Tick that one off the bucket list. Panenka in the World Finals, why not? 1-0.
Confidence personified that was. A really early start from Ivan Melian. And again, to take it back to the penalty award, it's that drag back that you'll just see here. It was the drag back that almost took Lucas Hernandez a little bit by surprise, takes it down to the box, and again, as cool as you like, just chipped down the middle. And you know, got 1 goal to the good, and to even go down what we're talking about with players, and we talk about play styles a lot in terms of what people see within Bayern. There's a difference in terms of continents as well. If you in terms of what you'll see from Naples as a European player and what you'll see from Ivan Melian as a South American player, you'll see little nuances. You'll probably see a little bit more skill moves out of Ivan Melian. Meanwhile, though, you might see a bit more ball movement from Naples.
Well, here comes the ball from Naples! Strap yourselves in! We've had 2 goals in the opening 7 minutes here. The immediate response from the Italian. The Euro 2020 champion is back on level terms.
Yeah, we talk about ball movement. This is where it goes in. It goes into the middle. It's passed off again. Then it's that little dummy. Just allows that animation to take place from the defender where he thinks that a shot's going to happen. Again, it just gives you that tiny bit of room, as you'll see again probably in the super slow-mo. Gives you a little bit of room just to fit it round the corner. It's a brilliant finish from Gnabry, and we're all square after a very, very early start from both teams.
Well, I was going to pose the question following the Panenka as to what that would do to your opponent's psychology. Would Naples be a bit defeated that he's allowed something so cheeky to happen, or would that maybe fire him up, feel a little disrespected? And I think it's the latter here in our Xbox final, Wes.
Yeah, if it were me playing, it'd certainly be the latter. It would certainly be the latter. I'd be sitting there going, oh, okay, we're doing Panenkas now. Okay, strap yourself in. Let's have a game. And I think that's what we're going to see from both these players here. I think we're going to see no fear from the pair of them from what we're seeing so far.
No fear indeed. We've barely even had a chance to introduce our 2 competitors here on the Xbox platform here at the eFootball Championship Open World Finals. I'll even come back to that as Ivan Melian is coming forward again. Manual save needed. Cleared behind for a corner, but how vital was that manual save?
It's a big save. It's a big save on any level. I mean, it's a great shot first and foremost, but wonderful save from Ulrich. I mean, again, forces the corner, so the danger is not over. You know, one manual save is great, but you've still got to then protect this corner, which, as we've seen through tournaments, you know, over the last couple of months, they are potent if you get them right.
Cleared at the near post, though, this time around. It will come back to the corner taker here, swinging the cross in with the left. Kimmich, though, unsuccessful. Of course, Naples is a name that we know so well, lives in infamy for you and I, Wes, because you remember his Euro 2020 winning goal at the last kick of the game with so much skill. It's one that we remember very fondly in our hearts. He's only 23 years old. Played 3 years in the Italian National League as well, so we expect big things and a composed performance out of Naples here. Of course, his adversary is quite experienced as well. He was the champion last year in the eFootball Open, and of course was the runner-up the year previous. So his third World Finals appearance here in this competition is going to mean he's no stranger to battles such as these, Ivan Melian.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that, you know, we talk about ages of players and things like that. What's great to see, at least from the games that we saw so far, is youth coming through. So it's not, you know, it's not just, oh, it's the same old players, it's the same old people. You're seeing players come through who've learnt their craft, and again, we're getting a very high quality game at the moment. I'm sure it will develop into even more so when we get towards the business end of the game. But again, you know, in terms of experience, both have big game experience, so now it's going to be a case of who can execute, who has got the coolness to execute underneath pressure.
It's the Argentinian who wins the ball back, but plays it to an offside teammate there up the top. Looking at these players' inspirations, you hear from Ivan Melian, his favourite eFootball Championship Pro player is the Palmer. And you feel maybe, Wes, we might see some of that, as you said, South American flair be inspiring his play style here. He's got some defending to do, though, first, as he wins the ball back.
Yeah, you've got to keep the, you know, your defence under wraps first and foremost. That's where all of your base of attack is going to come from. It sounds silly, I know, but actually coming from having a smart defence and being able to win the ball back is where you're going to be able to get into very good positions.
Ooh, he's been physically taken out of possession there. And the fans in the stadium, I think, were looking towards the referee. I certainly was as well, but completely unmoved. Shout for a second penalty, maybe.
Yeah, you've seen them given as well. Again, when you have skill moves and you have super cancels that take you into those types of positions, it's a bit dicey if you're defending it.
Whoa, that's a good ball to Sane. Another good save as well. It's still bouncing around, but it is cleared. Ivan Melian has had a few good chances here in this first half, which, by the way, is rapidly approaching its conclusion. He has the vision to see those types of runs from deep, and you can see him setting them up constantly, making Naples concentrate and adjust his defence. And that one will be an unforced error. Just the 1 minute added on here. It's Ivan Melian on the far side. Sane is dispossessed. Some crucial challenges being made in the box at the last chance saloon for Naples, but that attack will peter out and signal the end of what was an action-packed first half. 1-1 between these two world finalists.
Yeah, it's been a very tight game, but again, we're talking high quality of players that we have on show here. And again, looking at how the game is kind of petering out, it's still just very tight. It's too close to call at this point. And, you can see at the bottom of your screen, you can see the kind of mentalities of both players. It's moving to and fro. You can see they're moving back to balanced and trying to go ultra defensive just to almost stop any potential kind of long balls from kickoff to go through. And you can see now that confidence to build up from the back. You see Upamecano going down the right hand side.
Building well is Naples here. It's his first foray forward in the second half. The press from Ivan Melian has been very impressive indeed, but Naples seems to have found his way through at this moment in time. Muller, has he stayed onside? All eyes on the lino. He's done his job anyway, and the flag does stay down. Thomas Muller puts Naples into the lead here in the second half. I thought it might be offside, Wes. We'll get a better look at it here, but it won't matter at all now.
It's an inside ball. You can see there that the man mark almost on. You can see, I think it was actually the right back looked like he was playing him on. As you'll see that again. As you'll see where I think it was Lucas Hernandez looks like just as it's moved on. Again, though, it's a great finish from Thomas Muller. I often wonder when he's actually going to retire. He seems like he's been around forever and just seems to just get better with age. It's a fantastic finish. And again, at this time of the game, these are the types of times where it's actually critical. Because now you're forcing potentially changes out of your opponent. But now you have to figure it out. You also have to figure out your own tactic. Do you sit back and do you take it, you just carry on playing, or do you go and try and seek out a third goal? That's almost the psychological kind of challenge you've got now, because as we said before, if you go too defensive too early, it's very hard to break out and go into an attacking style if you suffer an equaliser. Whereas, of course, if you go too attacking, you leave the back door open and allow the opponent to get opportunities to go forward. So it's that delicate balance that these players have got to strike.
Thomas Muller to Leroy Sané. Who's this arriving? Joshua Kimmich almost getting his strike away, but this is Naples putting Ivan Melian under siege here. Long ball looking for Muller in behind is cleared, but Ivan Melian needs to get out of here. He's done so, and it's a potential 3-on-3 here on the break as well. Goretzka looking to try and feed. I think that was Serge Gnabry on this near side. We're on the hour mark now. Naples has done the hard part. It's difficult to come back, especially in a World Finals, but he's done so and has a lead to defend now. His eyes, though, only set on going forward as Lewandowski almost breaks the lines as well. Lewandowski on the other side, this time dispossessed, and we did wonder what impact that opening penalty would have. And I think we have our answer now definitively. Ivan Melian, though, still searching for the equaliser.
Yeah, it's not necessarily awakened the beast, because I don't feel as though Naples has done too much to get ahead here, but he's done enough, and that's the critical point. You don't have to be all skill moves and fanciness, and it doesn't. You can sometimes win ugly, and sometimes it just becomes that. As you can see, there's not been that many shots on goal, and there's not been that many opportunities really to speak of outside maybe a manual save here or there for Ivan Melian. I think maybe that chance with Sané where he kind of bounced back to him, he couldn't quite get the strike back on. The worry is when you're sat behind is if you're not having chances, that's the worry. If you're not creating anything, that's the worry. If you're having chances but you're behind, you're like, okay, well, one will come along and I'll be able to take it on board and get a goal. There's not that many key opportunities that we've really seen here.
On the field. Number 10.
Well, the subs are in. We're approaching 20 in-game minutes to go,
On the field is
which means Naples is potentially
substitution
20 in-game minutes away from being our champion on the Xbox platform. The subs are in. We saw Naples' substitutes, of course, keeping in mind, you have to keep that collective team strength under 2,300. And one thing I noticed, not a lot of bench options here for Naples, so maybe that's influencing his decision here to just keep possession, start again, and maybe try and exhaust Ivan Million's options. But the longer this ticks down, the longer we're getting into desperation stages here for Ivan Million.
Yeah, and also the key point here is that normally we see it kind of almost over the course of a season, whereas this is a one-game shootout, so you're probably going to front-load everything into your starting 11 with the hope that you'll get a couple of goals, get ahead, and you won't really need to worry about stamina. Whereas, of course, when we've seen it with the eFootball Championship Pro, it's been a case of we need to think ahead for different games and different kind of styles, as it were. Whereas this is very much the case of it's one game, you've just got to focus on that one game.
Well, there's a little unforced error there, which is going to transfer possession over. And here is Naples' bench. You can see not many options in terms of high-level players. We always talk about it in the eFootball Championship Pro. Where do you spread your team strength? Do you level up certain players to give you bench options? And as you said, front-loaded here by Naples, so we'll see if these bench options will be enough to see him out for the rest of the game.
I suppose it really depends on how confident you are in your plan A. If you're confident enough that your plan A works, you don't need to worry about B, C and D. Whereas if you're in this type of mode, as we can see from the stats, there's only been 2 shots, 2 on target and 2 goals for the one side, and then for the other side it's been 3 shots and a goal. And you'll see the differences in playstyle here as well. You can see that there's a very attacking lineup to try and get back into the game from Ivan Million. So again, now he's now pushing, which is great. It's great as a neutral, especially if you're watching it as a person watching it from a commentary box. However, from a player, you know that's almost desperation to get that extra goal or to get your goal to get back into the game.
Well, we saw a late equaliser in our PlayStation final moments previous. I wonder if we're going to see the same tale here. If it's going to happen, Ivan Million needs to stop turning the ball over, though, as Koeman is dispossessed fairly as adjudged by the referee. But again, where is the out ball here for Ivan Million? Choupo-Moting's on the pitch for him now. And look at the white shirts forward. There's an overload on that far side. It's gone near side, though. Goretzka! And Schürrle! It is to be the late equaliser. From the most unlikely of sources, all the way up the pitch. It's the defender who tucks it home. And we're all square now, 2-2. Are we headed to extra time in our second World Finals in a row?
For those eagle-eyed viewers at home, you'd have seen very, very shortly before this passage of play, you saw Ivan Million go to all-out attack, which actually means not only do all of his players start flying forward, it also means it puts an extra defender who flies forward. And in this case, it's Niklas Süle. And again, we talked, again, it's rebound, it's there, it's not quite cleared. It's Süle who puts his body in the way, thefts the ball almost from Upamecano. And again, from that distance, I don't think it matters whether it's a centre forward or a centre back. They will find the back of the net, and now we are back to 2-2. The issue, of course, now is Ivan Million has now gone all-out attack, has gone to 3 at the back, and has gone very, very attacking. You've now got to somehow get yourself back into neutral, because you don't want to be all-out attack going into an extra time, because your players will be tired, it will sap their stamina, and it will present opportunities. As we've seen kind of almost slack touches from players before, the longer this game goes on, I think it's going to almost be a war of attrition. You'll see some of the players on your screen, you'll see red stamina bars. That means they're getting very, very tired. And as such, especially at the back, it could cause chaos.
Well, it's been a scintillating World Finals here. We've already had our PlayStation champion. Here we are in the Xbox final. A final that's been bookended by Ivan Million goals. The first, of course, to go ahead was the penalty in the opening 5. the one that we've just seen to make it 2-2 to potentially, we think anyway, make our way to extra time. As you said, committed a lot of resources, so that may make him a little vulnerable here. And can Naples capitalise? Serge Gnabry. Possession won back from Ivan Melian, and I think he maybe senses that extra time is where we're headed because no real commitments to chase the ball forwards. Could that be at his peril though? Joshua Kimmich. Koeman. Musiala. Koeman still waiting on the edge, has just been put under pressure there by Choupo-Moting, and that will be the final action of our Xbox final in regular time. We are headed to extra time. What a finals we've seen from our Group A and Group B winners. Both obtaining and qualifying for this stage for these finals with a maximum 6 points out of 6. Where's your money, Wes? Is it the Italian or is it the Argentinian, I wonder?
Well, this is what I'm saying. Both have got big game experience here. So, it's about execution. It's about executing under pressure. Both of these players know how to do it. It's going to be a case here, I think, it's going to be a war of attrition in terms of the stamina within those players. I think it's going to be the fresher of the two teams that will edge this out. If we do even get that, we could even go to penalties at this point. Who knows? So if it is to be a decider, I think it's going to be the fresher of the two teams.
Corner swung into that dangerous area we see so often. But if you're just joining us, this is the eFootball Championship Open World Finals. Ivan Melian from Argentina in the Bayern away strip. We have Naples from Italy. The 23-year-old decked out in the home strip. Attacking from left to right here. And in these types of games, Wes, we often find ourselves just caught ball watching. This is something the players can't do, of course, because concentration levels have to be high. But if you ever hear us go silent, we're just admiring the action in front of our very eyes. Here comes Koeman though for Ivan Melian! Surely not!
What a save that is.
Danger is not done yet. Goretzka looking for Sabitzer, who's just run into traffic. Oh, what a passage of play, and that could be the best chance that either player has here in extra time. Ivan Melian still coming forward here. It's a heavy touch, it has to be said, and it'll be a corner here to end our first period of extra time. Look at all the red shirts back here for Naples. Dangerous area, goalkeeper called into action. Last chance, Kimmich's beaten the first man, but the cross, I don't think it was intended for that target, but that is a let-off for Naples. And we kick off the second period of extra time. All square, but Ivan Melian wants to give chase to this one too.
Yeah, to go back to your point about the sometimes silences on commentary, I think sometimes people forget, as much as we are esports commentators, we're also fans of gameplay. So when you see passages that are very, very good and very high quality, you do look at it and you just go, oh wow, that's pretty good. But you also forget we still do have a professional job here to do.
Well, these players have jobs to do too. Musiala beats one, and Lewandowski's there! End-to-end stuff here, not done yet. Musiala! It doesn't matter the competition. Naples has a history of turning up in the clutch with these types of goals. He's in the lead now, Wes. It's 3-2. He's moments away from being champion.
He's used to playing for his nation. I mean, that's one type of pressure. But when you're personally representing yourself, again, it's coolness. Yes, that chance been and gone. Again, if that's me, I'm sitting there slamming the controller. I'm there being annoyed. Instead, this shows you the difference. This shows you the difference in mentality. It's, no, I'm going to get the ball, I'm going to recycle it, I'm going to get another opportunity, and I'm going to finish it this time. It's Jamal Musiala. It's a brilliant finish. Again, we see it time and time again. Dummies to open up spaces. Everyone's hoying themselves over advertising boards, and as such, it's 9 minutes and a little bit of change. Whether we can see another pendulum swing, can we see an equaliser before time? Who knows? But at the moment, 9 minutes away from being the Xbox World Champion.
And what's incredible, Wes, is we questioned whether or not Naples had front-loaded his team a little bit too much, leaving him a bit bare when it comes to substitutes. It's the substitute who scores, leaving us with egg on our faces.
Well, it is. We said it. We when you said to me, who's your money on, I immediately go to who's got the fresher legs, who's got a team that's, as we see, the impact that we talk about going all out attack, and we talk about these changes in mentality, and some people might go, well, what effect does that have? Just have a look. Have a look at all of the stamina bars that you can see on your screen here. The only players that have relatively survived is Lewandowski, Musiala, who's a substitute, Koeman, who I believe came off the bench as well.
Yep.
The rest of the team that have been on for all of the time, and also have been there when it's been all-out attack. You can see the stamina drain. There's nothing left in that midfield, and as you said, if they've not got a lot of options on the bench, that's where you're now looking to go, okay, well, I need an extra ask. You can see it's all-out attack once more, but on the flip side, Naples is going to all-out defence, so it's trying to pick your team up to go again, and don't really see Ivan Melian having that in the locker from at least his team.
Well, the Argentinian is going to have to dig deep here, and well, he's given the ball away to Koeman! Oh, no! No. The pressure from the defender just putting it off. That would have been an exclamation point on this final. But 5 in-game minutes to go. Ivan Melian, first and foremost, to get the ball back, but he also needs to stick it in the net just to force penalties at this point. It's not impossible, just highly improbable at this moment in time.
I've been in scenarios before where it's this type of scenario where you're chasing a game very late on in pressure environments, and it's not a nice place to be, because you're sitting there willing your team to do something for you, and you've got to try and make it work with the two hands on the sticks. But
so close to a final attack, but now we have our champion. It is Naples 17. The 23-year-old Italian shot to fame from Euro 2020, and now he's shot to fame once more 2 years later. He's the champion of the eFootball Championship Open Xbox platform. There we have it, Wes. It's official now. He's champion again. What a final again from our two participants there.
Yeah, it's a fantastic final. Commiseration to Ivan Melian, because again, in terms of his start to the game, was very, very good. Got off to the very cheeky Panenka that we saw, as you'll see on the right hand side of your screen currently. But again, Naples showing quality, showing that champion mentality that we always talk about. And he's becoming very hard to ignore on an esports stance. If you look at representing his country, representing himself now, it's becoming very hard to ignore. There should be clubs looking at him. Not that I am an esport manager, but if I was, and you're looking to improve your team, you've got a ready... I mean, both players actually there, you could easily make a case for going, hey, actually, you need to look at the pair of these guys, because they know how to play eFootball, and they certainly know how to perform on big stages.
Yeah, commiserations, of course, as you said, to Ivan Melian, but he put up a fantastic showing. Of course, the guts to make that Panenka happen was absolutely fantastic, but it's only our attentions on one man now. It is Naples, and it's our friend and colleague David down there with him. Let's have a listen.
Naples 17X, congratulations on winning the eFootball Championship Open 2022 on the Xbox platform. Well, we would like to know what are your thoughts and your feelings right now?
Sono molto contento per questa grande esperienza. È stato veramente difficile perché ho giocato contro giocatori molto forti, quindi la soddisfazione è maggiore.
Thank you very much for your response. Well, he has said that he's very excited about this great experience. It was very difficult for him because he played against very strong players, so the satisfaction is even bigger. Well, now that you are an eFootball Championship Open World Champion, how are you going to celebrate this, and what are your plans and your goals for the future?
Festeggerò questo premio con I miei amici e con la mia famiglia. Spero per il futuro di avere opportunità maggiori con il football e continuerò ad allenarmi al meglio per essere più preparato ai tornei.
Thank you very much for your response. He has said that he will celebrate this award with his family and with his friends, hoping that in the future he have bigger opportunities on the eFootball Championship Pro. He will train a lot to improve his level to make him stronger for other tournaments. Well, thank you very much again. I hope you enjoy it. You deserve it. So thank you very much and congratulations. Back to you guys.
Well, thank you very much, David. Great to hear from Naples, of course. If you're just joining us, we are now halfway through the eFootball Championship Open World Finals. We have 4 platforms playing today. PlayStation and Xbox have already played. We have 2 champions for them. We have mobile yet to come. But up next is going to be our World Finals for Steam and PC. Let's have a look at our participants. So there are our participants, Wes. The group stages, as we all know, have already been played. We can see our 2 finalists now. Just taking a look at some of the results. We mentioned at the top of the show, we always look for diamonds in the rough, and PC and Steam is one of those platforms where maybe we start to see those unknown quantities come through and really start to shock us.
Yeah, I mean, I will slightly out myself here. In terms of PC players, unfortunately, I don't know too much about you. I apologise in advance. However, saying that doesn't mean that we don't have quality within that platform. So, just because, the likes of myself don't really know too much doesn't mean that there are not quality players going through it. And more importantly, it just shows you that there is quality there. And this could almost be a coming out party a lot for PC players, especially with the fact that they're going to have a world champion that is going to be on PC.
Absolutely, you can see the results there leading up to our final. We have Ner and Verdi Takaki on the PC and Steam platform. They have advanced their way to the final. So the group stage is done and dusted. We can forget about them. We have our 2 group winners. I think it's about time we jump straight into our final and meet our 2 players for our final on the Steam platform. So 2 champions down, 2 champions still to find. We move over to the Steam and PC platform. It is Ner versus Verdi Takaki, the former from Peru, qualifying through the Americas region. Verdi Takaki, our Japanese representative here in this final, attacking from right to left, using AS Monaco. We haven't seen them used often, Wes, but of course the eFootball Championship Pro winners were from AS Monaco, so you'd think maybe Verdi Takaki has been taking notes.
Yeah, he certainly would have been doing his homework. Again, if you're looking for players to learn from, again, if you're looking from a kind of a viewing platform, none better than looking at the way that Nexa, Guifera, and Uzmak Abil utilize their team. And again, it's again, if you are a player coming into this, a lot of what we've seen is Bayern Munich and Barcelona. If you see a Monaco come up, all of a sudden you've got to try and figure out, well, hold on a minute, what do they do well? And it can kind of put you a bit at disadvantage.
Well, Neuer here attacking from left to right with Bayern are threatening the goal early on in the opening 15 in-game minutes, but I mean, after what we've seen in our PlayStation and our Xbox final, I'm not going to blink whatsoever because I have no doubt this is going to be back-to-back. Boadu queuing up the stunning strike. It's just crowded out at the vital moment. Of course, this competition was open to everyone, so we had thousands of participants worldwide. And we come down now to just the final two. I'm not expecting any slouches at this level. But something tells me, again, after seeing our previous two finals, Wes, we could be in for a few goals here.
Yeah, and you can just see they're just kind of trying to feel each other out a little bit here as Ben Yedder finds Boadu.
Oh, that's a good ball to Boadu! We've seen it in eFootball Championship Pro time and time again. He is a vital piece of this AS Monaco puzzle. And Verdi Takaki has struck first here. The 25-year-old from Japan opens our scoring 1-0.
Yeah, it's a great knock around the corner from Wissam Ben Yedder. Again, finding Boadu, who is as quick as he is clinical in terms of the finishes that we'll see from him. It's just a little knock around the corner. Upamecano can't get his feet set. And instead, it's Boadu that can just roll it into the corner. And again, early lead, early start for Monaco. An early start for Takaki. Brilliant start indeed.
Brilliant start indeed, not only because he gets the goal, but also impressive composure once you're through with Boadu, just to take a few extra touches and realise you've got time while Neuer is trying to get his goalkeeper set. He's going to have to get the rest of his team set here too, because the rest of this final now becomes an uphill struggle, of course, until the equaliser, if there is one to come. Sabitzer to Lewandowski, who's dropped rather deep here. Ball to Sane is unsuccessful, so now the question is, what does our Peruvian representative here, 22-year-old Nicanor Estrada, have to show us? Opening half hour has been mostly Verdi Takaki, and he's forward here once more. Ben Yedder. Boadu again looking in behind. That's a lovely knock on towards Volland, and that is dangerously dribbling, trickling across the goal face. But no, he survives again.
Yeah, you can see the quickness of thinking from Verdi Takaki there. Inside ball, rather than take the shot, tries to head it across goal to an open man. Just couldn't quite find player. But again, it very much is all Monaco or all Verdi Takaki at the moment. Again, if you've got to find something here to just try and answer back and just put a bit of fear in people.
Well, this could be a chance coming on the near side. His ball is no good, but Sane is able to rescue possession. This is good build-up play. Gnabry looking for Lewandowski on the run. But Takaki clears. Takaki, of course, eFootball Championship Open World Finals runner-up last year. Looking to go one better here. Lewandowski's through, though, here for Neuer, but Nubel is alert and on his toes, able to gather that one.
Yeah, again, it's just quick thinking to just be on your toes here. But again, this ball just keeps coming back against this Bayern back line. Goretzka just nicks it away, but Tchouameni seizes on it. Cal Enrique trying to find a ball down the line. There's no flag.
No flag as of yet. Boadu's time and space to try and find Ben Yedder, who is giving chase to this as well. 5 minutes left in the first half. Corner to Takaki. No surprises based on his club selection, who he looks up to the most in the eFootball Championship Pro. Nexa and the Palmer listed as his inspirations. Golovin towards Boadu! And where is the defence? It's a brilliant find, but I think Nur will look back on that one and say, where was my back line? It's a free header to double the lead here in the first half.
Yeah, you can see Neuer kicking the post in frustration, and again, it comes out of a corner, it's a set piece, ball bounces and ricochets, comes back in towards the box you'll see there. Again, it's just near post header, and nobody picking up Baldu at near post. As you see there, he just runs into space, you'll see it, that's a perfect angle for it. He's just waiting, he's waiting for the ball, he knows he's onside. It's 2-0.
As you said, perfect angle for it. We could see him played onside by the centre-back. I think he may have even been behind the ball as well, so no doubts from the linesman. The man from Japan is up 2-0. Kimmich with the early stunning cross there. Can get on the board here. 1 minute added on here at the end of the first half. Lewandowski, this could be a good chance as Gnabry couldn't quite get the ball under his spell, and I think, and there is the confirmation, Boadu brace is what separates our two teams here at the end of the first half.
Yeah, and I think if you're Neuer on this side of things, the worry is you've not created anything. You've not really created anything of note. And more importantly, there's nothing to have provided any type of, as I said in commentary, any type of fear out of Verdi Takaki, because again, it's almost been very passive from his point of view. Whereas there's been two opportunities, really, two massive opportunities that Monaco has taken, and you're kind of staring down the barrel with 45 minutes to go here. Not a shot on target, as we've just seen very quickly from the stats there, but again, it's been very kind of, dare I say, easy for Verdi Takaki at this point in time.
Now, I hate to read into tactics there, Wes, but I don't know if you saw it. Nur clearly feels he's up against the wall here. And I only saw 2 registered defenders there on the pitch for Bayern. So if that's the case, I hope we'll see some more attacking football out of Nur, who's attacking from right to left to start the second half. Gnabry was waiting. Kimmich tries again on that far side, but this one should be cleared away.
I mean, it's a gamble. Don't get me wrong, it's an absolute gamble, because you're just leaving your defence being 3-on-2 at all times. You see Ben Yedder trying to find the through ball.
Yeah, Boadu, as you saw, trying to make that run, but the idea was right, the execution just slightly off. I do worry, though, for this Bayern back line. For now, though, let's not worry about defence. Attack coming for Bayern. Sabitzer. Lewandowski! Ruled out by the linesman's flag. Heartbreaking for Nur. Let's see how close this one was. Oh, yeah, he's offside, isn't he?
He is. And that would have been a real lifeline. It would have been a real kind of almost re-entry point for Nur to get back into the game. But the worrying part for me here is, as you've said, if there's 2 defenders left at the back, in terms of, at the back of this Bayern Munich defence, it's constantly going to be on a 3-on-2 whenever this ball comes out, because, Takagi is playing with the 3 up front, so it's always going to be at a disadvantage on the counter-attack.
Well, we always ask it out of players. Why not go for it when you're down 2-0? You've got nothing to lose at this point. Boadu is in behind. We cannot fault Nur here at all. Qualifying through the Americas region, of course, resident of Peru. He's going for it. He's leaving nothing out on the table here in the World Finals. I condone it. I respect it.
I was going to say, as a neutral, it's fascinating. As a neutral, you'll be sitting there going, "Yeah, I want to see a 2-3-5 formation." However, I think if you are, if you're looking for a way back into the game, probably not the smartest idea to kind of go that attacking that quickly, especially with the fact that you've got, and at least another 30 minutes in the game. It's a bit bold. It is a bold strategy. We're going to have to see if it pays off.
I mean, looking at all these attackers, look at the black shirts swarming. The press, of course, matching the numbers advantage up top. But if you can beat the press, that's where the space is going to appear here for Verdi Takaki. Volland has Boadu outside him. Here he is now on the ball. Across to Ben Yedder! Ben Yedder makes it 3. And it may look like a simple tap-in. But Verdi Takaki beating the press, beating the black shirts that were forward. Carves this goal out, Wes, to make it 3 and to make it certain now for Verdi Takaki.
Yeah, it's the gamble you take. It is, as we said. It was, for me, it's too aggressive too early. And as you said, I absolutely rate and appreciate what Nerd did. However, I just don't think it was the smartest of moves from a standpoint of looking at how he plays. I don't think it's the smartest thing to go that aggressive. If you look at it, you've got 3 up front, you've got 3 midfielders, and now he realises that he can try to start to drag players back, but that it doesn't. The damage is already done. The damage is already done. You're 3-0 down with nothing really to latch onto from a. You can see the formation change from Verdi Takaki. He's gone to almost a 4-2-3-1 and just very much gone, okay, well, I've got my 3-0 lead. I can just kind of return to neutral and just kind of take it the way I want to take it. Again, it's a really good performance from him.
Great performance from Verdi Takaki so far. There is still time left on the clock for Nur to carve his way back in. But if nothing else, he's earned my respect for going with that 2-back formation. It's like me, as soon as I concede 1 goal online, I'm like, right, let's absolutely go for it. But with 67 minutes gone now, and Verdi Takaki trying to make this 4. It's looking like one-way traffic, and we may well have our PC and Steam world champion before our very eyes. Koeman looking for Lewandowski in behind. Behind for a corner, though.
It's one thing doing it at home when you're just sat on your sofa just playing randomly online. It's a very different thing doing it in a world final. You have to almost be a little bit less cavalier. As you see the ball come out here, Neuer's had to come all the way out of his goal to come and fetch that. That's the level of attack that was on show.
Oh, stunning pass from Kimmich just goes wayward, unfortunately. And that's not the type of unforced errors you need to be making for the man controlling Bayern München. And while we're focusing on the talking point, of course, of Nur's formation, we have to commend the performance from Verdi Takaki. Not a whole lot of unforced errors from his side, which is, of course, what your opponent's looking for when you go in that type of aggressive formation. Diatta, though, down the left-hand side is dispossessed. 15 in-game minutes to go now.
Yeah, I think a point on Verdi Takaki's performance is it's been a mature performance. It's been a mature ability of going, right, okay, well, this guy's going to be super aggressive. He's going to push players forward. I'll stick to my game plan. I'll stick to know what my team can do. And it's been a very mature performance. It's been a, dare I even use the word, professional performance.
Well, Koeman's in here for Nur. Tries to play the ball across the face. There are still plenty of Bayern bodies up for Nur to try and find, but with the time ticking down, it's looking less and less likely we'll see a comeback from the Peruvian. Lewandowski with the back heel towards Gnabry. Verdi Takaki senses blood in the water here potentially as Neuer is called into action again. Yet another unforced error from the South American, and just like that, I feel maybe his hopes of a comeback have been nipped in the bud. As we approach the final 5. Is there a consolation here for Neuer? He's giving chase, and Lewandowski has been rewarded for Neuer's efforts. Maripan, though, back in defence. Long ball from Diatta. Clearly senses Neuer's out of his box, and that's a bit of a mistake there from Manuel Neuer. Ben Yedder! Oh, wow! If you ever wonder why Manuel Neuer is not used at this level, it's for reasons such as these. We saw last year 2 goals scored against Manuel Neuer from players' own halves. It's another blunder. It's 4 for Takaki.
Yeah, key point here is the player traits within the players themselves. Manuel Neuer has an offensive goalkeeper play style, which essentially means is that if you are, trying to flood the box and trying to play aggressive football, Manuel Neuer will take precedence and will stand quite far out of his goal. And in terms and in stances like that, will provide those types of errors, because if the ball is bouncing back to him, it's not quite clean enough. He will fumble. He will fumble, or he'll be out of his goal, and it will cause problems at length. Obviously, of course, the alternative is Ulrich, not exactly as high powered as Manuel Neuer, but crucially doesn't have that trait.
And don't get it twisted either. That was by design, I think, by Takaki. Clearly done his research. Perhaps wasn't expecting it to go as successfully as it did, but no, again, in search of that consolation, Musiala trying to give chase, but Badiashile will quell the danger for now. Make no bones about it, Verdi Takaki is on a proverbial victory lap at this point. Headed in again, searching for that Bayern goal here for Neuer. He's no slouch to make it to this point, but has been bested on this day. Has one clearance away. If it will be cleared, Savitzer takes a dangerous deflection to force another corner as we approach the 5th minute of 3 added on. Kimmich with the corner. Badiashile away. And that is that. It is Verdi Takaki, our PC and Steam eFootball Championship Open 2022 champion. And what do we say about that, Wes? A high-scoring affair, lots of risks, lots of talking points, but in the end, there's only one champion.
Yeah, it was comprehensive at the end. I think as soon as kind of half time happens, where you go in 2-0 down, and as soon as you see those tactical switches from there, it really opened the game up. But again, as you said quite rightly, if you beat the press, you've got a lot of real estate to play in. And as we saw, again, started off with this first goal. Again, you talked about the composure to get that ball in with Badu, but then to have the composure to, have a look at a manual goalkeeper, know exactly where to go with it. Great piece of play from Verdi Takaki. But again, it just led on from there. There were more goals, there were more chances, and as we said, I think it was that key tactical switch. I think as soon as you see two centre-backs being just the only defence between you and Manuel Neuer, it provides a lot of avenues to play in.
Yeah, commiserations, of course, to Neuer. He went for it with that 2-back. Maybe was expecting his defensive midfielders to chip in a little bit more. But either way, our colleague David is down there with our champion, Verdi Takaki.
Verdi Takaki, congratulations on winning the eFootball Championship Open 2022 on the Steam platform. Well, I'm sure you are very proud. So please let us know, what are your feelings and your thoughts right now?
今は本当に、めちゃくちゃ嬉しいです。去年のeFootballオープンのね、決勝大会で、去年優勝したエビプールさんに、負けてからめちゃくちゃ悔しくて、すごくハードな練習をね、毎日続けた甲斐がありました。その努力が、報われて本当に嬉しいです。ありがとうございます。
Thank you very much for your response. He said that he is really happy right now. He was so disappointed after losing in last year's eFootball World Finals final, and that he is glad that this hard work of practicing every day have paid off. Well, now that you are an eFootball Championship Open winner, how are you going to celebrate it, and what are your plans and your goals for the future?
まず最初に、自分の応援を、ずっとしてくれていた家族、そして、年間を、通して一緒に切磋琢磨してくれた仲間、SNS で応援し続けてくれた、方々に、すごく感謝したいと思っています。ただ、僕の目標はeFootballプロに、選手として活躍し続けることが今の最終目標なので、今日この優勝を、素直に喜んで、また、一から、努力し続けたいと思います。
Thank you very much for your response. Well, he said that first of all, he would like to thank his family for supporting him all the way, his friends who have worked hard with him throughout the year, and those who have continued to support him on social media. However, his ultimate goal is to keep competing and be active in the eFootball Championship Pro, so he will keep working hard again. Thank you very much, Veri Takaki, and congratulations again on winning the eFootball Championship Open 2022 on the Steam platform. You deserve it, so hope you enjoy it. Thank you very much. Back to you guys.
Well, thank you very much, David. Yes, great to hear from Verdi Takaki after being a runner-up last year, has now gone one step further. We always love those types of stories. Speaking of stories, there's still one more to be written. We have 3 champions already on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC and Steam, as you've just seen. But for the first time ever this year, we have a mobile competition as well. So now it's time we move on to that platform and find our World Finals participants. Let's see who they are. Well, the group stage has already been played, Wes, between the 6 qualified players. And one thing I love about the mobile platform is the fact it is so accessible. So if anyone's watching here and plays eFootball regularly, of course, next year's competition no doubt will be piquing your interest. But we don't tend to see, I mean, it's relatively new, isn't it, eFootball mobile-wise? So we don't really know a lot about these players.
Yeah, if you talk about unknown quantities, this is that and then some. You've got an unknown quantity in terms of the players. You've got an unknown quantity in terms of the platform. So again, in terms of insider knowledge, unfortunately, I am very, very limited in terms of what I can give you.
We need to get you on the mobile, Wes, I reckon. But you can see here the top 2 players qualifying from each group to the grand finals are Asgard Azizi and Sergi Game as well. Unfortunately, we are unable to broadcast the final on the mobile platform, but the match has already been played and we already know the winner. So let's see who's been crowned the first world champion on the mobile platform. It is Asgard Azizi, our first world champion from mobile. An incredible performance from him, of course, to get all the way through the competition and make it to the world finals, Wes, winning 4-2 in the end. Plenty of goals there. Shame we couldn't watch the action, but it's got to be a great feeling being the first world champion.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're the first of your kind in that sense. You are the first world champion of eFootball, the Championship Open on mobile. So again, a pretty big achievement. Again, we talked about how many thousands of players have tried to come through all of these different types of platforms. Again, mobile, as you talked about, accessibly, it's going to have been a massive achievement to get to this point in general, and then to take it one step further and win it. Again, massive achievement.
Massive achievement indeed from the 33-year-old Indonesian. Our colleague David is down with him now. We can hear from our first ever world champion.
IG Asgard Azizi, congratulations on winning the eFootball Championship Open 2022 on the mobile platform. Well, let us know, what are your thoughts and your feelings right now?
Pertama, saya mengucapkan alhamdulillah. Tahun ini saya bisa juara. Saya mencobanya dari dulu, dari tahun 2019, dan sangat bersyukur tahun ini bisa menjadi juara.
Thank you very much for your response. He said he is very happy to be the world champion this year, as he started back in 2019 and finally he won this year. So now that you are an eFootball Championship Open winner, how are you going to celebrate, and what are your plans and your goals for the future?
Harapan mungkin untuk ke depan tuh bisa masuk ke Championship Pro. Tidak lupa saya ucapkan ini hadiah ulang tahun terbaik lah, ulang tahun saya dan ulang tahun negara saya yang sekarang ini yang ke-77 tahun. Tidak lupa juga saya ucapkan terima kasih kepada tim BTC Esport, teman-teman ESI sama Telkomsel yang sudah mensupport penuh. Mungkin itu saja. Terima kasih.
Thank you very much for your response again. He hopes to enter the eFootball Championship Pro next season. He will certainly celebrate it, as in his own words, this is the most beautiful gift for his 33rd birthday and for his country's Indonesian 77th birthday. So he will also like to thank his team, BTC eSports, and the EFO-NTV community, and friends from ASI, NTV, and Telkom who fully assisted him. Well, thank you very much, IG Asgard at CC, on winning the eFootball Championship Open 2022 on the mobile platform. You deserve it, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you very much. Back to you guys, Harry and Wetcha. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, David. Thanks for, of course, bringing us all the interviews from our champions today. You see them here, whereas we had 4 champions to find at the start of the day. We found them now.
Yeah. Again, as you know, as I pointed out earlier, in terms of the almost the youth that are coming through, you know, you look at 21, 23, 25. Obviously, the slight exception with Asgard Azizi being 33, but it's great to see that, you know, there are talents that are coming through, and it's good to see different names here rather than, as I said, just the kind of the regular kind of almost household names that we see within eFootball. It's great to see more players coming through.
Yeah, of course, great to be working with you this season. Wes, any parting words before we go our separate ways for the summer?
It's been great in terms of eFootball Pro. It's been great in terms of the eFootball Championship Open. Again, for me, if I was slightly selfish, just bring it back to offline. Let's do this in the studio again, because again, I'm staring at the 4 walls in my house, and I'm like, oh God, let's do it in the studio, please.
Yeah, let's do it. We saw there the socials at the bottom of the screen. Make sure you're staying on top of them and knowing all the news and latest events in regards to eFootball. From myself, Harry Channon, from Stuart Wesley, aka Wezza, thank you so much for watching this season, and we'll see you next time. Thanks a lot. Goodbye.